Hey guys, welcome back to the Fit and Frugal podcast. I am your host, Tawni Wind. You can find me on IG at Tawnisaurus. Today I have here with me my friend Luis Baraza. Barraza. Can you tell me what you do again?
I'm in the e-commerce space. I run a logistics company, and now I own this beautiful podcast studio. So Podspot LV. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just trying to make it out here in Vegas. New to Vegas. Been out here 2.5 years. Originally from Sacramento.
How long ago did you start entrepreneurship?
That's a cool story because I'm from Sacramento. And I've always had a job throughout college. I went to college up in Sacramento, and I've always wanted to get into business. And I've had multiple small failed businesses while I was in college. While I was in college, one of the first businesses I ever started was a T-shirt screen printing business.
Oh, so cute.
I spent like $2,000 on equipment, and then it just sat in my garage for like the whole time. I never did anything with it except for make T-shirts for like my fraternity parties. But it was like one of the first things I was like, I'm gonna start a business,
Yeah.
Failed, and then after that, I think I tried to do e-commerce like Shopify dropshipping for a little bit, failed at that, and then I actually decided to just forget about business, and I joined the military. And then while I was in the military, I realized I hated being told, what to do, how to act, who to be really. Just like I wasn't allowed to be my own person, right? Because when you're wearing the uniform, you're a soldier, and you got to be whatever. And pretty much I started Googling how to make money online. And I remember...
What's the first thing that came up at that time?
Well, really, it was dropshipping. It was just e-commerce was really... Because
Yeah.
it was right around the time of COVID.
Oh, I see.
So I'm very new to the business side of stuff. So I always forget how new to business I am because I've only been in the game really for like 2.5 years, 3 years. When, some of my friends have been doing business for fucking 5, 10 plus years. And I'm just like, I'm just a little, what's the word?
Baby shark?
A little baby shark compared to these guys. But, I feel like I have, not to toot my own horn. I've come a decent way in 2.5 years. But, yeah, that's how I got into business was I Googled how to make money online, and I found dropshipping. And the next thing you know, I bought a course, and that was history. And that was the very beginning of COVID. That was like February, March of 2020.
Yeah.
And then all of that led me to where I am now. All while I was in the military, Googled how to freaking make money online, and then here I am.
How miserable was the military on your spiritual being?
I know some people love it, or maybe not love it, but they need it. But for me, my personality, I couldn't stand being told, who to be. I had to be myself. You know me, I'm very obnoxious, I'm loud, I'm like, you put me in any room, I'm just like talking to everybody, and I'm like, and I just don't shut the fuck up. And
that's how we became friends, bro.
Yeah, and then when you're in the army, it's like, you have to put on this hat, and you're like, and it was like the complete opposite of who I was.
Did you have a beard in the army?
No, you weren't allowed to. I feel like beards are makeup for men.
It is.
I'm like very unattractive without a beard. And I'm already, like average at best. But,
I saw your ecom videos 2 years ago without a beard.
Yeah. So didn't have a beard, didn't have any money, so either. So money came with the beard, I guess.
The beard came with the money.
Sure, I bought the beard.
Yeah, is it overcompensating for something, or is it just amplifying your money? It's like
I think it's just. I don't think it's compensating for it. I think I just prefer having a beard.
Yeah.
Versus not having a beard. Yeah.
Can't take that. I remember you showed me a video, and I was like, I can't take it seriously.
It doesn't look like me. I feel like it's not me. Yeah.
It's like almost a doppelganger, but it's not.
Yeah, and I went through a phase where I had like long hair too, and then I go through phases. I think everybody does, but like right now I'm going through like a bald phase where I'm shaving my head every week. Because I started thinning, and I'm like, you know what? I might as well embrace the bald. I don't want to be like that guy holding on to his hair when it's like thinning.
Britney Spears 2008.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, but she embraced it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to embrace it. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna be bald. If I didn't have a beard, I think I would try to hold on to my hair. But I think bald and a beard is a look. So yeah.
Yeah. Is that why you're wearing a hat all the time?
Well, I've always been a hat guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not really because of the hair. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is there's a lot of people that can't really handle failures or can't even admit that they failed at a business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes a different mindset to go into entrepreneurship. It's not even the stomach to like lose money or to admit that you failed.
It's an ego thing.
It's an ego thing, right? Like, you can't even admit like, all right, I fucked up, I lost money. Like, let's move on. But I think people really get stuck in that like denial phase of like, no, I can make it work. I can make it work.
That's so
right
funny because I was just shooting a podcast with my friends and we were talking about the same exact topic, how social media has glorified business and even though has glorified entrepreneurship, and it's just like, it's not pretty. Like right now, like I'm burning through cash trying to make this other business run, right? Like I have a logistics company, warehouse where I service e-commerce sellers. I have my own e-commerce store. I have this warehouse, and now I have this podcast studio. But it's like I'm not making money. Technically, I'm running on a negative, but it's like, you know, it's all part of the game, and people don't like to talk about it. You know, the last 2 years, anybody could make money. It was just like printing money from the internet. Everybody was spending money on everything, but then this little recession hit, and you know, it's cool. Luckily, I'm fairly liquid, so I'm not worried about it. I know it'll work. It's just, you know, getting all your systems and processes in place. But yeah, I feel like people glorify business, and it's not fun. It's cool, and it looks good on social media, but it's hard. Like, I got a kid on the way, and I'm like barely able to be home right now because I'm trying to make this new business work, and it's tough. But I wouldn't trade it for anything because I would hate to, you know, while I was in the military, I almost missed my first kid's birth because I had to be where I had to be where I was told to be. I wasn't in charge of myself, so I'd rather. I think it was a Shark Tank episode. Mark Cuban's. It was like a Mark Cuban quote, and he was like, "I would rather work for myself and make $70,000 a year than, you know, work for anybody else and make millions." I was like, yeah, I think I at the end of the day, even I don't know what my goal is financially. I feel like it's more of like, as cliche as it sounds, it's more of a journey. I think I'm just having fun. Yeah. And I don't really have like everybody has a number. Like, I want to reach, you know, Decamillionaire. I want to reach this and that. I don't really have a goal there. I'm just having fun, seeing what happens. Yeah. So.
And that comes with a lot of failures too.
Yeah. It's a lot of failures.
I understand that, and the ego thing.
Yeah. I think the ego thing for sure like is a big thing with me because I'm full of myself. But, you know, especially putting myself around these other successful people, sometimes it's like a reality check. I'm just like, damn, I really ain't shit.
Yeah. You're like, damn, I'm just a baby millionaire compared to these fuckers. Yeah,
like I remember it's funny, one of I'm in a group chat with a bunch of guys, and like somebody jokingly said that the other day. They're like, "Oh, I pulled up next to so and so's cars, and I realized I wasn't shit, so I gave up." And I was like, "Fuck, that's accurate."
What do you mean? What kind of car?
I don't remember what car it was, but it was like essentially, you know, you always think you're hot shit until you look, you know, like you look. There's always a bigger fish. You know? So right now, like I feel like my ego is really hard to keep in check because I'm first of all not making any money. I'm burning cash. Luckily, again, I'm liquid. I have my rentals and everything, so I'm good. But getting a new business going is hard. So it's like your ego takes a big hit when you're negative cash flow. But it's part of the game. It's part of the game.
Yeah. What's the difference between drop shipping and FBA?
Drop shipping is essentially a fulfillment method. So it's like when you're drop shipping, you never touch the physical inventory. So I buy something from. So say I'm selling the screwdriver. This customer buys a screwdriver from me, but then I just go buy that screwdriver from another place and ship it directly to them. Versus with FBA, you have to buy the inventory before it actually sells. So then I have to go buy the screwdriver, ship it to my warehouse, package it up nicely, send it off to Amazon, and then Amazon sells the screwdriver. Does that make sense? Yeah. So like with FBA, it's a little bit more capital intensive because you have to buy the inventory before you ever sell it. Versus with drop shipping, you sell it before you ever buy it.
I see.
Yeah.
What's the margin for profit? The difference?
For both, it's between 10 and 15% on average. So like you sell $1,000, you're probably gonna make $150 ish. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter. That's like gross, so not including overhead and all that other stuff. But yeah.
And expenses and.
Yeah. Especially with the warehouse, there's a lot more. But with the warehouse, I'm a logistics company, so like I service other people's products.
Yeah. So with the Fit and Frugal, kind of like the values of where I wanted to take the brand. Yeah. It's essentially looking at like money and things around money in like 5 different kind of pillars. Like you gotta make more money, grow it, protect it. You know what I'm saying? Like save and like learn how to spend it wisely too. Okay. Because money isn't just like a thing. It's like it's a very tangible thing, but at the same time, it's not that tangible.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just numbers on a screen.
Yeah.
I remember hearing that, and I'm just like, that's really true. You really look back.
Unless you have it in front of you, like a ton of cash.
Yeah, but even then, it's like there's not that much. I think it's like over 90% of like the money in the economy is not even available in cash. It's all just numbers on screens.
It is.
So it's like, that's crazy to think about because you're just like
that's your net worth right there.
You're just doing things in the world to make these numbers on the screen go bigger because you never actually hold the cash. What was the last time you had like $20,000 cash?
I'm Asian, so it's a little different. Okay. I was raised
not in your mattress, you know, but like most people don't ever touch cash. They'll pull out a few $100 here and there, when you're going to a vacation or whatever. But really, it's all just numbers on a screen.
Yeah.
So it's always a trip to me to think like we're doing all this shit to make these numbers on the screen go up. It's weird.
Especially like you say, you're running in the red and like burning cash, but you're not really burning cash. You're burning kind of like a part of yourself too.
Yeah.
I feel like once I start losing money.
Yeah, it's your ego is
taking a hit.
Yeah, your ego. My ego is taking a hit for sure. But I think being able to talk about it is like. A lot of people don't want to do that because everybody's like, yeah, look at me, I'm making all this money. And it's like, bro.
I had a couple mil last year.
Nobody's talking about their losses. Nobody's talking about, because everybody likes to, fluff shit up for the social media, which, including me, like I've done it, like I'll fucking post the good months, the revenue on Amazon or whatever, and then not post the bad months.
And other bad months, what are you doing? Are you eating cup noodles like me at home or what?
I mean, no, luckily I've had I had a good couple years and I wasn't very, how do I say it nicely? I wasn't an idiot and I didn't go blow all my money. So I had a good couple of years and I put a lot of it into real estate. So I have cash flow. So I have rentals. I have my VA disability, which, and then so I'm good. Like I'm taken care of every month. It's just like my business isn't making money. I'm still making money if that makes sense, but just the business isn't.
Yeah.
So it's like, and the business doesn't mean it's not growing. It's just we're burning cash to get everything in place. There's a lot of systems and things that go into building a warehouse. We got to buy equipment, forklifts. We got to buy pallet racks. Like, all that stuff's expensive. So it's like, coming from somebody who's only ever done internet business, a buddy of mine, well, Steve, I think you know Steve, or I've mentioned it before. He actually told me, he's like, dude, like, internet business, it's easy because your overhead is a laptop. Everything's done from your laptop. He's like, you're starting Wi-Fi. You're starting like a legitimate like brick and mortar business. Like you're gonna burn through a lot of cash. You're gonna do all this, and it's just setting it up. You can't be discouraged that you're losing all this money because you're not. I mean, you're just tying up money in equipment. You're tying up money in your systems and processes. Like I'm tying up money obviously in employees, ads, all this other stuff that and we're not producing a positive cash flow yet. So we're on a slight negative. It's not too much, but. I'm building every day and I see the progress. So it's like, he's like, if you see, I talk to Steve a lot. He's like, if you see progress and just keep going. He's like, don't give up too soon. And and time horizon, it's like, it's only been like half a year.
Yeah.
So it's and for a new business, that's like not even that much. 6 months. So it's like this is why I'm starting to see a lot of people throwing the towel around 6 months. And it's like, you get discouraged when you see that, your cash reserves go down trying to build a new business.
This is right around the time that I'm letting go of one of my business that I think I was sharing with you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting take on it because I think when I met you, you were still flipping. And then like months later, you're like, fuck flipping. I can't do it anymore. Like I'm doing way too many things.
Well, that's a funny story because I got to Vegas and I had no friends. I didn't know anybody here. I didn't know you. I didn't know anybody. So, and it was, I was doing e-com. And e-com's cool, but it's lonely. Because you're just on your laptop in your room or in your office, right? Because everything's online. You don't talk to people. You're like a cam girl. Yeah, exactly. So when I got to Vegas, I was like, I'm going to flip houses. Let's go. Because my wife was she's a realtor and she was like going to get involved in real estate out here. And I was like, cool. Like, I'll just flip houses during the day and do e-com at night because e-com is 24/7. Like the internet doesn't close, right? So that didn't work because then I started getting just distracted and then from my e-com with the flipping. So I just stopped flipping. But yeah, when we met, I was flipping like 1 or 2 at a time. I think I only ended up flipping like 5 or 6 houses. And I made some money off of it. I'm not like mad that I did it, but I think ultimately it distracted me from like my main bread and butter, which I was already good at. Why was I trying to get good at something that I never had done before? When I was already making money with the e-com stuff.
Yeah. Did you ever lose money on a flip?
I lost money on the last flip I did with the partner. Yeah.
With the partner. How much? Like?
I lost like 35, 40K.
Like, is that individual or together?
That was just me. It was a very messy deal. So his name will not be spoken. But essentially, I got into business with this guy, and we thought everything was going to be cool. And then we ended up buying, like, at the peak of the market, like July of last year. Literally, like, as the market was turning.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just as expected. The market took a little dip, and but terrible timing. We couldn't sell the property. We were not able to sell the property at a profit. We were pretty much going to take a loss on it, and he didn't want to take a loss. And I was like, dude, it's part of the game. Like, I'll take a loss. Like, let's just sell it, get rid of it, and wipe our hands clean. But long story short, he ended up buying it at cost. So pretty much whatever we were into the property for, he refinanced out of it or something. And then I just took my loss, and I walked away with my... So I lost 40K. He at least got a house with equity, which cool for him. But, like, I ended up taking a loss on supposedly a 50-50 partnership. And then pretty much we didn't talk after that flip. And I kind of got blamed for it, saying that I went over budget. But I was like, dude, we just bought the house at a terrible time. Yeah. We bought it at the peak of the market. I knew that shit was looking too pretty. And I was like, bro, like, it's not a good time to buy. And then I just did it, you know. But at the end of the day, we all got to take our own losses, and we all have to take our own lessons. And I learned that just because you're really good friends with somebody doesn't mean that you need to go into business with them.
Yeah, let's talk more about that. It's because I think people, have this gloss over them to where it's like, oh, I vibe with this person, we should go into making money and stuff together.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of like...
That was a big lesson that I mean, there's a video that I watched it was Alex Tremosi's video, and he talks about how your partner is damn near should be like the opposite of you, right? Because you don't want to partner with somebody who's good at the same shit that you're good at.
So, you just want an echo chamber.
Yeah, so it's because then it's like, why bring somebody on and give them 50% of the fucking profit or whatever the percentage is when you're gonna do the exact same thing. So most of the time, it's like you can be friends with somebody and do business, but make sure that you guys are good at different aspects of the business. Me and this guy were like just very similar. Like we were like, we just hit it off from the day we met, and we kind of became like butt buddies for like a solid, you know, couple months. Yeah. You know, like hanging out all the time, whatever. We ended up going to, you know, out of town for like a minute. Cool, whatever. Like, again, I still like the guy, but I would just never do business with him. And so, so I mean, that was kind of that. But I would say a lesson there is just because you're friends with somebody doesn't mean that you have to do business with them.
Yeah. Do you see that friendship recovering?
I don't know. Right now, it's just like I'm so busy building my other businesses now that I don't even have time to really talk to people that aren't helping me build my business right now.
He hasn't like reached out or anything to try to
like we see each other like here and there, but it's like, yo, what's up? It's not like we hate each other. It's just we're just not like, I don't know. Yeah.
Is being able to talk about money and losing money like one of the first steps in vetting someone that you can potentially partner with?
No, I don't think so. I think the biggest thing is just making sure that expectations are set, which we kind of did, but not really. And then one of the things is just, again, making sure that they're good at other aspects of the business. Like, that's it. I think when people are too similar, they're not going to be good partners. Yeah.
Like, you guys underwrote together, you guys did numbers together and stuff?
Kind of, yeah. Like, we didn't even, that's another thing. It's like we were just all over the place. I think we did the numbers, like, not even on a legitimate spreadsheet. It was just kind of semi ballparking shit. Just it was just like whatever. It was so unorganized, and that was kind of on me because technically, the numbers side was supposed to be me.
Yeah, you're the logistics person with the logistics
so that was
background.
Me, but he was like heavy construction side because apparently he had a construction background. But then, like, he was estimating a certain cost, and then we went over budget, and then somehow that was my fault, is what he said. But But anyways, yeah. I mean, it's just, you know, again, just because you like somebody doesn't mean you need to do business with them. Yeah. But let's move on.
Are you gonna cry?
No.
I want to make sure you cry on this podcast.
You can't make me cry unless we talk about. Never mind. But yeah.
Yeah. No, so you know when we're sitting here, when I was talking to Jay and stuff yesterday too, we're admiring this space. Like, how did it come to you that, like, hey, I want to make a podcast studio?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm very impulsive. And somebody told, I was talking to this kid, And he mentioned it, and I had the extra space because this was essentially just my office. I had just my desk in this corner, and it was cool. But I was like, what can I really do to maximize the value out of this place? And I always wanted to start my own podcast. And initially, that wasn't the intent behind the studio. It was really just the way that I saw it was, it's a one-time investment, and after that, it's gonna provide semi-passive income, and it'll just have me meet cool people because I've already had a couple cool podcasts just meeting people in here. Mm-hmm. And it's not even my podcast. Like, you had Jay in here. Like, that was cool. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm sure you'll have other people and, like, so on. But I think it's just a good networking tool. And, again, the biggest thing was it's a one-time expense. Most of the things that I bought still hold their value. I can sell everything in here if I really change my mind. Mm-hmm. And it's just cool to have. And then it's a one-time investment, and it's just going to provide a semi-good return passively, because I'm not really planning on pushing it too hard. It's really just like a fun little side thing. Mm-hmm. And if it does turn into something cool, if it doesn't, I have zero expectations. If this room makes $0, I'm almost okay with that, as long as it doesn't take my time. Obviously, when it starts taking my time, I need to make some money. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't like a huge, like, oh, I need to make this work. It was just like a little side passion project. I was like, fuck it, like, let's just do it. Yeah. Yeah.
Because eventually you're going to need to rent out space anyways.
Yeah.
And from the quotes I've been telling you, what other people roughly are ballpark charging.
Yeah.
So, like, that comes out of our pocket.
That's and I started doing the math, and it's like, it's pretty cool because it was, just to be very open with the numbers, I spent about 10 grand. That's it. Like, furnishing it, buying all the cameras, the computers, the equipment, everything. Mm-hmm. And the only thing I already had was this couch. Everything else I bought, and just specifically for this studio. And I was like, cool, it's a $10,000 investment. The average market rate for other studios is like $400 to $500 an hour. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, cool, mine's not going to be the greatest, but I'll only charge $300. Mm-hmm. And I did the math. It's like 25 or 30 hours to make my money back. I'm like, okay, that's fair. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, 25, 35 hours to make my money back. And after that, it's just free equipment, and then I can use it to do my own podcast, and anybody who wants to keep coming back, they can choose their podcast. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot of people they want to like have their own studio at home, but they don't know half the stuff behind the scenes on how to do it. And that's like the value play for people. Like, that's why you're here, right? Yeah. You go to other studios as well, but it's like, because you just want to show up and talk. You don't want to like have to deal with everything else.
I started mobile, actually. Like, my first 12 episodes has been mobile.
Yeah.
So it's been like our own
setup. And the mobile
ones
are a lot less work, right?
You would think so, but...
Oh, no?
Yeah. Oh. It's because you got to find the venue. It's pretty much like coordinating an event of the day.
Yeah.
How many times coming from logistics? Like, I came from logistics of event planning, so it sounds easy to me, but when I looked into the logistics of setting up like an entire studio, I'm like, I don't want people at my house, first of all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
First of all, I don't want people coming in my house. Like, we ain't that close.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't mind spending money to just show up and talk.
Yeah.
And then it simplifies your life. Mm-hmm. How much time are you getting back now that you don't have to go and find a venue?
Yeah.
Do that and this. So it's and that's not just you, it's other people too. I'm like, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And then the whole podcast industry is kind of blowing up. So I'm like, okay, it's a good little side opportunity.
Yeah.
Which I still kind of like don't regret, but I feel like it might be distracting me from the main thing. But at the same time, again, it's not like a huge project. It's just for fun.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have my own podcast. So I'm like, cool.
Do you feel like that's a trait for entrepreneurs? Is like a slight ADHD of
yes, and that's not good.
It's not good. I have it. Like, it's fine. We can sit here and openly talk about it.
The shiny object syndrome,
it's
or whatever.
It's fucking terrible.
Yeah, and it's I think being able to control it has been something that I've been working on / flexing that muscle, because there's been a lot of things that I've wanted to do in the last 3-4 months, and I'm trying to just stay on track with the logistics. Excuse me, and the e-com stuff, and and I was good, but then again, the only reason I did this was because it was a one-time investment, and then it's semi-passive. Once it's built out, there's not much to do. If it gets booked out, cool. If it doesn't, whatever. I don't care.
You have a nice office.
Yeah, it's not like I'm not relying on this to pay anything. This is just extra for fun. Mm-hmm. So that's the only reason I did it. It's like I don't want the stress of having to push it. Obviously, it's still a business. I want it to make money, but like, it's not a business that I'm like, I need to make this work. Mm-hmm. You know, like my other ones, I'm stressed out about, right? I'm trying to make them work. This is just like, oh, it's cool. It's fun.
Yeah.
So it's more like a business project, or how would I say it? Like a business. It's still a business, but it's like a fun business. It's not like one that I'm really relying on. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just I'm just doing it because it was a cool idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus, there's about probably like 5 to 10 that's about to pop up right now. Because everyone that I'm talking to, like, oh, you have a podcast. I'm thinking about starting a podcast too. How'd you do it?
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah, well, send it my way. Oh, you mean like studios, or you mean like just people starting a podcast?
Just starting a podcast, topics and everything, and then kind of like what we talked about.
We have referral fees at Podspot. No, but yeah, no, that's what I mean. Yeah.
I think that once people see other people doing it, like it's not like they're incapable, but it's just the material behind it.
Yeah.
It's like, do you want to invest in a camera person like I did? Like, I love the editor. I love the creative aspect of being mobile.
Yeah.
Just because it gives me the flexibility, and then I'm grateful for the relationships of the venues that I've been using. It's because it doesn't look so like, I don't know, like the same all the time. Like if you're gonna watch all like 15 of my episodes so far, it's in like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 6 different settings.
Yeah.
So it looks kind of cool. So I'm testing it out to see what my vibe is and what I like, because I'm still in the experimental stage.
I agree and disagree. Mm-hmm. Can I tell you why I disagree a little bit? It's so your brand, right? It's like people. It's like, you know, what's the big podcaster? Rogan. Mm-hmm. Same set every single day. Mm-hmm. It's because people want when you're essentially you want it to become part of your brand or whatever. So it's like if you have different things all the time, it's just I think it's almost going to be distracting from your message.
Mm-hmm. That's what I figured out too, because a lot of the settings on the first couple episodes, like the sound sounds different.
Exactly.
Like the echo sounds different. Yep. Like
you gotta worry about
different.
Stuff.
Like I'm sitting in a different chair every time. And
another thing is, I like this podcast like setup when you do like the couches and stuff, because I feel like the guests get more comfortable versus the podcast setup where it's like a table. It's like a table with the mics on it. I feel like it's very stiff, and you're just like, hi.
Like I've been there.
I don't like that. Like I was on one podcast where it was like a table and we're like face to face, and it just felt very like an interview. Yeah. Versus right now, it's like I kind of get like a chill vibe, and I feel like it just really loosens people up to just want to talk. Yeah. And it's like a comfortable couch. It's cool.
And that's my format too.
That's my opinion. So some people like the whole table one. Mm-hmm. That would have been way cheaper to do. If I just got a table and threw some mics on it, that would have been way easier. But I thought it was cooler to kind of make it like a space, make it like a little vibe.
Yeah, I did the whole table thing, the headphone thing. I've shot one in the car, like an actual mobile one from a car.
While you were driving?
No, we didn't drive. Fuck that, dude. Yeah. That's very risky.
Yeah.
So it's mostly like learning, I think, your brand too.
Yeah.
It's like what I like what do I have time for? And that's why this week's kind of like an alignment, is because I'm like, I just got to show up and talk like no one else. That's it. Yeah.
That's why I feel like it's, if you can do it, it's like the best to be able to just like tomorrow you said you're shooting 3. Like if you have the energy for that, by all means, I feel like that's the most efficient way, is just fucking bang them out. Mm-hmm. But I did one today, like as a host, and I was like, I'm tired. I was like, okay, no. I was like, one a day as a host, unless it's like I'm like have a lot of energy that day or something. But like hosting is like you have to like, it's a whole different like how do you say it? You have to make the conversation flow. Mm-hmm. You have to make it like, you
actually have to listen to people.
Yeah.
Number one thing.
Yeah, like right now I'm just like kind of shooting from the hip. We'll see what happens. But this is your job, right?
It's my job.
It's your job as a host to make to make the conversation flow.
Yeah.
And like as a host, it's so different. But,
exactly. Yeah. I've shot with people where it's really hard to connect with them, and I feel like I'm interrogating them almost, and they're just
when it's very
so
stiff.
awkward.
Yeah.
My first one, I was really stiff too. It's just because I'm like, fuck, that's a lot of cameras, that's a lot of lights pointing at me, and I've never been in that setting before.
Yeah.
And it's very like noticeable that it's there.
Yeah.
Now lately I'm like,
well, yeah, I think
like it's a candid conversation.
It's just a conversation.
It's a conversation. Yeah. And the first time I was just like, oh my God, I have to
my
move
name is Tawni. You're like, yeah, I get it. Yeah.
I didn't do any intro or outro.
I just did that on the last one I shot with Steve. I was just like, hey, this is whatever, and then I was like, okay, like because it's a fucking camera. It's weird.
Right? Like you have to look at it, and it's like, which one do I look at?
Yeah.
Like which one do I talk to? Yeah, which was funny. Tell me about your podcast, Wieners Only.
I mean, that's a very new project as well, and that's just again, I feel like I'm using it kind of in a selfish way, which, just to be honest, I think I know enough people in business to have some high level guys on it where I can be selfish with the questions and and get their advice and their mentorship, I guess, for like an hour. I can have them on, talk about their story, talk about whatever we want to talk about. But then I can selfishly, I get an hour of their time for free. Maybe if I don't have to pay them to be on the podcast. But, I selfishly can use those podcast interviews or whatever you want to call it to kind of answer any questions that I may have that they might have the answers to. And I think that's cool. And the name of the podcast is Winners Only. Not just because I only want to have winners, but it's like winners at everything, not just business, like just people at life, at relationships, whatever the case may be. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I've only had 2 people on so far, and so far so good. But again, it's like I don't expect it to go anywhere. I'm doing it mostly for fun. It's not like same thing with the studio. It's like I'm just gonna do it, see what happens. Like, I'm not expecting to make $1 from it. I'm not anything like that right now.
Yeah, I think that's another thing with starting a business too, that you can't really be expecting it to make money from day one. Yeah, you just gotta learn to play the game. And eventually, like, kind of attract that energy towards you. Yeah. Just be authentic about it. Because I've seen some people on their podcast, I'm like, ooh, you are uncomfortable on your own.
Yeah. As the host,
like, are you breathing? Are you okay?
I think another thing is just, like, knowing when to walk away and being okay with taking losses. It sucks, but some businesses don't work out. I lost a lot of money in some businesses, and it's just part of the game.
Same, man. I'm losing money sitting here right now. I gotta take that loss too.
Yeah, it's hard, but it's like, yeah.
But I totally get that. I think that should be a free therapy session. Yeah. So of that value, like, of course you're bringing value to me too. It's because you're providing me a space. It's because I hit you up. Hey, this is what I'm doing. Yeah. Yeah. Right. And you always want to support your friend's business regardless of the monetary exchange or whatever. Yeah.
That I guess we can touch on that. It's always because you actually mentioned it yesterday through text. You were like, I don't want any miscommunication. And it's always hard to do business with friends because you feel awkward asking them for money or something. Like one of my friends, she has a business in Sacramento. And it was like an event planning business or something like that. And she was helping us plan a baby shower. And it was like, and I remember just like doing it. And we were just doing it as friends that she forgot to ask for payment, and then I was like, "Wait, we never paid her." And then we talked. I talked to her, and she was just like, "I just didn't know how to ask. Like, it was weird. Like, and it's like miscommunications happen all the time when friends do business because people feel weird asking for money. But it was funny because I remember that baby shower. I was like, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah, I was very direct over text.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh yeah, these are the rates."
Like, no, I asked you.
Yeah, give me the money. Yeah, but it was like, because obviously we know each other outside of this business and everything, so it's like, it's always weird to like use your friend's business if you don't make sure communication is very upfront.
Yeah, you know what? Speaking on that, because I used to do events too, and there's a lot of friends who like became family or whatever. Yeah. They just expect me to do shit for free. And after a while, I'm like, this is really awkward, but you got to start paying me. Yeah. And they're like, oh, but, just help me out. I'm like, me helping you makes me lose thousands of dollars because event planning is not cheap. Yeah. And they're like, show me your real invoice. I'm like, this is how much I actually charge. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, anyways, if you want to pay half of that, that's cool. But
but then it's like, that's another thing. It's like, if they're your real friends, they won't ask for a discount. If you offer it, cool. But like when they start asking for discounts, I'm like, you're not.
No, they ask for help.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, can you like use your skill to help us with this thing?
Like, can you use your debit card to swipe it here? Yeah.
I think it was last year that I helped a friend out too, and I forgot to ask for payment. And you just reminded me of a really awkward situation because I just talked to him recently. Yeah. And I was like, fuck, I never got the payment because I like flew straight home after that, and it's been like almost a year.
You never asked for it.
I never asked because I fucking forgot.
But from the very beginning, he was expecting to pay.
Yeah, like we talked about rates, like we talked about all of this stuff too.
See, but the fact that he never reached out, like that's shady.
Yeah.
I don't know who you're talking about, and I'm probably friends with them maybe.
Yeah, like we're all friends with this person. I just forgot.
Yeah.
And now it's been like, I don't know what the statute of limitations for payment is. We can bleep this out.
Is it Ed? Ed, come on.
Ed, I forgot.
Is it for the bartending wedding thing?
Yeah, I fucking totally forgot.
Why did I know?
Fuck, because we're friends, bitch.
Yeah. But no, again, and I love Ed. So it's like I don't think he did that on purpose. I think maybe it was just a miscommunication. I don't know.
And I think that was my fault too, because I kind of forgot too.
Yeah.
Because I was like distracted with other things.
Yeah.
And now that it's been like 6 months, 8 months, whatever, and I'm like, oh, this is awkward. And like I wanted to catch up with him when he's here. Yeah, we'll leave that part. But, yeah.
But
totally
moving on, I get it. Yeah.
But that's why with the miscommunication thing, like I'm
making mental notes to know when to cut it out.
when I even do business. Yeah. Like I'm speaking not just as a woman, but it's not like all girls do this, but I just don't be expecting shit for free. Yeah. It's because I know that that's a big thing out here. Like I don't want to like generalize everyone and everything. Yeah. But once you kind of step into a business, they're like, oh, why are you even paying? Like you're a girl, like you're attractive, like ask for discounts. I'm like, I was like, I don't know if I'm doing it wrong as a girl, but I've never asked for anything. I'm like, what is it? Like,
I think even when they ask, I think it's better than when they assume. I feel like when people assume, it's an issue. When they ask, cool, maybe they're not like, whatever. But like, don't assume. I would at least ask. Yeah. But like, just sometimes when people assume, it's like a whole different thing.
Like you can still negotiate. Like we negotiated.
Yeah, we
did.
This
is what I want to do this week. Boom. Let's make it work.
Yeah.
I'll meet you in the middle somewhere.
I mean, we haven't even really finalized everything because I trust you also. It's like if I didn't trust you, like it'd be a whole different
You don't
game.
know where I live. You can't find me.
So it's like that's a whole different thing. It's like it's like I think it's also who you trust and who you don't trust and that. Yeah. But I think doing friends with business is like that's fine as long as you get communication is very upfront from the beginning and the stage is set from the beginning. Like this is it. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Do you think I did a good job at setting the stage with us? With this studio? Like, okay, cool. Because like, with one other friend, like, they assumed that they were just going to use it for free. Just because they were my friends. And I was like, what? No, that's not how it works. Yeah. And it was, I'm not going to say what it is, but it was like, is that really, like, I don't know. Like, it was weird.
And I was transparent. I'm like, this is how much I'm paying. This is how much the other studio wants.
Yeah,
this
and I was like, I'm way fucking cheaper. No, but it was but we talked about it from the beginning. Yeah. And it wasn't like a weird thing. Yeah. But
money shouldn't be weird between friends.
But this thing, this conversation happened. They're like, oh, like when is it free and when can I use it? And I'm like, oh yeah, just let me know when. And I'm like, they're like, and I think I failed to bring it up, but it was just like they showed up and then I was like, okay, so these are the rates, and they're like, oh. And I'm like, what did you mean? What do you mean? Like I'm taking time out of my day to do this. Like I have another business to run. Yeah. And like, to be honest, like it was like middle of the day. Like he showed up at like 2:00, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. Like, that's fine. It was scheduled, but I think the expectation that he was going to be paying was not because, it was like I have to take time out of my other business to do this. Yeah. So it's like it was funny, and I was just like, dude, what are you doing? Like yeah. And then he left. But I was like, all right. Like,
see, even between like two guys, I'm hearing that there's always miscommunications because you can't be assuming shit
guys
through
are bad
friendship.
at communication.
Yeah, needs, wants, expectations. Got to be upfront.
Yeah.
I need this. Like I said, I'm like, I need this, and you want this because your payment. I'm like, how do we meet in the middle? Yeah.
Like, and then one other thing is that you told me that you were already, which I'm assuming you're friends with the people who own the other studios that you were using. But I mean, if I ever have that opportunity where I can, if I'm already paying for a service and my friend starts a business that's doing that, I'd rather support my friend. Mm-hmm. So like,
and I sent that text to you, right?
Yeah, you're like, I think you said that. You're like, I'm already spending on this anyways. So I was like, yeah, cool. Like,
you should pull up that text, like, I'm just here to support you, bro.
I don't know.
Just frame it on the wall,
I'm gonna put this text in the freaking thing.
Are you gonna crop out this exact segment of like how I'm actually paying you?
Yeah, exactly.
As a public service announcement.
She's actually paying me.
There's no affiliate marketing, which there should be.
There is though. There is though. We have referral fees. Are you going to the event next week with that influencer?
That is very generic.
The very big one in Vegas.
Okay. No.
Okay.
I was like, that is a very generic question.
Yeah, where we met, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I think that's next week. But I'm trying to have a bunch of them because I have a lot of friends that are still in that mastermind, and I'm marketing a lot of them for the podcast room. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that I'm charging their asses. I'm not gonna just let it out. Yeah, but I'm gonna. The TV happened again. Just grab the remote and just turn it off. I don't know why it keeps doing that.
How do we turn on the screen?
Yeah, just the little power button. What?
How do we turn it back on the screen? Just turn it back on.
You want to just pause? We can just keep recording and then crop it in?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll be back.
Yeah. That's for your editors to worry about, not me.
Oh. It's like weird. It keeps doing that.
It's times out.
Yeah, but I have like it's the TV that times out, and it's not supposed to because I have it on. Yeah.
Oh, I see. It's not connected to.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So now it
Maybe there's a timer on that shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know, but it should be good now. All right.
Yeah.
Oh. Angle still look good?
He's got like 5 chins now.
All right. Go ahead.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Oh, we never let my zippers down.
Shit. I didn't even look at your crotch the whole time, dude.
All right.
My bad friend, or is
Where were we at? And crop it in right here. Cool. But yeah. So.
Yeah. So when you said like, you still have liquidity because you have a kid on the way too.
Yeah.
And you have your current.
He can
kid,
literally be
Ryder.
due today, tomorrow. He's due like any day.
Oh my god,
It's
that
like,
is so
oh.
stressful, dude.
I know.
What the fuck?
But my phone's on silent. What if she's in labor right now? No, but
She's like fucking Tawni,
yeah,
man.
yeah, but yeah, due any day. Roman Ace.
Roman Ace.
Yeah.
What's the inspiration behind the name?
I love when people ask that because it's literally just that it sounded badass.
Roman Ace and Ryder.
Ryder Cash, Roman Ace.
Oh, you got pre-tattoos?
What do you mean? This one's already born.
I know, but you got that one.
Yeah.
So you planned the name before the tattoo?
Yes, I got the tattoo as soon as we decided officially on the name.
Oh.
Yeah.
Holy shit. So what is it? So with the business and everything, and you have your cash flow, do you know exactly how your lifestyle is with 2 kids and a wife?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, like, again, the business is burning cash and everything, and we're getting it going, but, like, I'm liquid enough to not work for a few years,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and be chilling. So, like, if I really can't make it work in 3 years, then I'm really should be stressing out. But
Yeah.
if I can't make it work in 3 or 4 years, then I deserve to fail.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people, I'm very grateful for the position I'm in. And yeah, I think I still get stressed out. And sometimes I push that stress onto Lexi and, where I'm like, oh, we're burning cash, but it's like, really, we're fine.
Yeah.
It's like, most people, I mean, statistically, I think it's like over 90% of America, like one bad car repair and they're fucking upside down and they're behind on their mortgage.
Yeah.
So it's like, I am in a good position and I'm not like ultra filthy rich, but I'm comfortable enough to, I could take a few years off really but obviously I would never do that because then essentially you got to use that time to build the next thing. If the first thing isn't working. So I'm like, again, the best way that I can phrase it is I'm not comfortable. I'm definitely like, swimming hard, but I'm not like drowning. I'm just like, I'm essentially using my life reserve, my boat. I got a life raft on right now.
Yeah.
I got a life vest.
Yeah.
I got a life vest, and we're good. But it's also just like I don't got the boat yet.
Yeah. You don't have the yacht yet.
These are terrible analogies, but yeah, like I got the lifesavers on, the freaking the life vest.
Yeah.
And I'm swimming to the boat right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people don't share that too, right?
Yeah.
Because they only see the glamorous.
Especially when your friends still doing well, even during these like recessions or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, like I'm, but at the same time, it's like a lot of it's just all smoke and mirrors also. Like they're just faking. Like a lot of your friends are just pretending to make money right now. Like a lot, like I feel like a lot of people's egos don't let them really tell the truth. And I'm cool with telling the truth. I'm like, yo, bro, shit's hard right now. Like I'm trying to learn this other shit. Like, I'm now because the last 2 years it's been so easy to sell anything. I could post an Instagram story and sell shit because everybody had extra money. Like stimulus, you had fucking all this money being printed. People were getting their unemployment, which was like $4 or $5 grand a month. I think unemployment during COVID was like almost $4 grand a month if you like qualified for it. I think. Yeah, it was like a lot. People were getting
what the fuck?
People were just getting free money. So imagine not having to work and you're getting $4 grand a month. Like I was able to sell everything on Instagram just through social media. So I've never been a good marketer. I never ran ads. I never did any of that shit.
No PPC or whatever.
Now I have to like really work for the people's money, right? So like I need to give them a reason to give me their money, because now it's like hard earned money for the most part. So now I have to figure out how to run ads to start marketing. I'm trying to figure out how to do other marketing channels for the business, whether it's cold DMs, whatever. I'm trying shit out. I'm learning, and it's like people are so scared to like talk about eating shit because eating shit sucks. It's like, yeah, I'm eating shit right now, like, and then like I'm over here fucking. I still have 2 or 3 clients that I'm trying to service their stores. So I'm like, I'm eating shit for other people. And now it's like, I got other people's money on the line. So it's like, yeah, it's hard, but it's at the same time, again, most people would still kill to be in a position that I'm in, to be able to fail and still be fine. So, and again, I don't even call it failure. I think it's like
a lesson.
L is for learning, not for losing. Yeah. But
can't winners only, right?
Yeah, winners only. Yeah. But yeah. So I mean,
it's another step
I think
to like a winning
being a
lesson.
winner is as cliche as it sounds. I think you got to lose a lot to be a winner. Like nobody just started winning day one.
Because if you make $2,000, you probably lost 10 grand.
Something.
If you
yeah,
make 2 mil, you probably lost 10 mil before that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that saying? It's like you got to lose thousands to make millions, lose millions to make billions, whatever.
Yep.
But yeah. So that's where I'm at right now. It's like, yeah, I'm throwing money at this thing, and just not this podcast room, like the businesses in general, and just trying to make them work. But it's if they don't, then I can always pivot in a year. Yeah. So I did give myself like a time frame. Essentially, I gave myself a year to see if I see any progress, and if I don't see anything happen from a year from now, which I'm at 4 months technically, so essentially just this year, January. So, but if by December, so we're about I have 6 months left. If I don't see any sort of progress or like light at the end of the tunnel type thing, I'm just gonna pivot. Like, we'll see what happens. Like, if I have to leave ecom in general, cool, I'll leave ecom. Again, luckily I have my rentals and I have my other things that keep me afloat. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll see what's next. I'm 28. Also, people always like, I always feel like I'm old, but I got so much fucking time. Like,
yeah.
There's guys that I know that didn't start doing anything until they were in their like mid 30s. And I'm like, you got time, dude. You got time.
And that's still young too, because there's a lot of people in their 40s and 50s that's restarting their life over.
That's what I'm saying.
Too.
So it's like, all right, I got time to fuck up. Like, this is fuck up time, and yeah, it's scary to time to fuck up with 2 kids, but at the same time, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like yesterday, I was like, hey, I'm fucking up. Like, this is how much money I'm fucking losing.
Yeah, we were talking
about
that.
But it's the first year that I'm not doing anything else.
I want to sincerely apologize, because I actually got you involved in that business, but it's like, I ended up losing over 100, like, a lot of money like, in that business, and it's like, and right now I'm not losing money in that business, but I'm
floating.
Yeah, it was a bad timing. It was like. And the shitty part is, it's like, it was a lot of our friends.
Yeah, I need to cut the cords. That was me. That's the accountability that I had to take. I should have just followed my gut.
Yeah.
But statistically speaking, I'm like, I'll give it 6 months. Because I gave myself a timeline too. And then once the 6 month hit last month, I should have fucking pulled the plug. And I'm on the end of the 6 months.
It's funny because you said you talked to our other friend. He's like, dude, I broke it off a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, it was a lot of my friends that I got involved. And again, how do I explain it? I would have never got my friends involved if I didn't think it was a successful business model. Yeah. Right? So, like, it was Ed. I think Renee, Ed's partner, bought a couple stores. I think...
Are we cutting this part out or what?
I don't care. I talked to I'll tell them that we can if we want. But, again, multiple people bought stores from me, and now it's like I feel bad because they lost money. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like
that's part of business, too.
And it's like your reputation is on the line also, because now... I don't feel comfortable selling anything right now until I get this new business going. So it's like, I want to get back into, coaching and teaching people how to make money online. I don't think I'll do automation again, but I think I will do like a handheld service, like, hey, let me help you run your own store versus do it for you type thing. Because of that, I had a bad situation. It was really good for like a year and a half, 2 years, and then it just like all went downhill in a matter of like 6 months.
Yeah, I think everyone I talked to, like, all their shit like set on fire all at once.
It was, if you talk to anybody in the e-com space, it was like middle of the summer last year, everything just fucking went up in flames. It was like, oh, Amazon's fucking shutting everybody down, Walmart shut everybody down. So we lost all this money. We refunded like Walmart clients, and it was a nightmare. And it was like, and not to talk numbers, but like, you got the homie discount. Some people paid 20, 30K. So it's like, that was a lot more money. So it's like, and those guys are in the same position that you are. So it's like, again, it's just, it was a nightmare. and I still feel bad about it. And it's like, it's almost awkward to talk about it with like other people. And it's like, sorry.
Because I don't think people even have the stomach to even talk about losses. It's because it's hard to. Even for a girl, it's like, we don't like losing money. Like, no one does. But I've lost much more money before that. So it kind of got me to here. Yeah. So it kind of softens like the blow a little bit because it builds like my skin. Because before, like the first time I lost money in business, oh my God, I cried for like months.
What was the business?
It was bad. Like it's something. It was the people. No, that one I was making a lot of money. But it was something.
I was rich.
It was the people I should have never been involved with.
Yeah.
Just making some bad moves and never woke up the same. It was like a trauma. Yeah. Like that's kind of stuck with me forever.
That was like my last flip.
Yeah. And it still like haunts me. And I'm like, can I trust myself to make this decision? Is because you don't really understand like how soul sucking it is to take a loss and then like realize you took a loss and then lived in denial. Yeah. I lived in denial for like 2 years. I'm like, I can't believe I did that. Yeah. And it's gone. It's numbers on a screen. It's gone. Like if it blows up, it's gone. Like what are you gonna do?
It's just numbers gone.
Yeah.
What's I don't know if this is invasive. How are you making money right now? What's your like business, your main business right now?
I cut that off and we're going to multifamily and then now I'm doing this podcast. Okay. So I'm on my life vest right now. Yeah. But I'm finally doing something that I feel more connected to and intuitively like guided towards.
So but in the multifamily, you're just trying to buy like apartments or something? Yeah. Okay. Are you just raising private capital? Yeah. Okay. Do you have any of your own houses right now? You're primary, right? You own your primary? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I was going to talk to you, like, off camera. Yeah. We can sit here and talk about that shit all day.
Well, we can talk on camera, I don't care.
Yeah, but, so that's why I understand the 6 months on the life vesting is because there's months like this to where, like, I'm fine. Like, I'm so grateful that I have a life vest that most people don't.
Yeah. How did you make your life vest? Like what was the business that you were able to stack some cash away?
It's overall. Yeah. Like I still have residual, even though I did lose a lot of money, but I still have enough liquid to like carry me through months like this. Is because I live pretty frugally. Like I never really Weird, right? Frugal. That's the values. Yeah. It's because I was blowing a lot of money in my 20s too. It's because I was making so much money that I became really... No, I wasn't here, dude. I was never a bottle girl. But I think those values kind of stayed with me. It's because I lost my ways for a few years when I started making a lot of money. Yeah. And then I lost my ways for like 4 years. And I looked back.
Well, luckily, not too much. Because again, not a lot of people have that life vest. Yeah. And like, if this had happened at the beginning of my business career, I probably would have been spooked and just went back to having a job. So it's like, again, I can understand why a lot of people get scared of the business thing. Because it's like, it's scary. If you have like a really bad mess up at the very beginning, it could just scare you away from business in general. And you'll just be like, you know what, I'm just going to do a good job. Yeah. And yeah, like that, luckily, while I was finally getting into a successful business, I was still in the military. So I had like that not passive. I had that check from the military coming in every month, and that covered my expenses. So I could run the business and just fuck up and learn and learn and learn. But if you don't have that and you have a regular job and then you fuck up the business and you're losing all your money and then it's like, and that's the very first time, you'll never do a business again. Yeah. So it's like, and I know a lot of people that got spooked and then they're like, fuck this, I'm just going to get a job.
Yeah, because they're like, entrepreneurship
you get addicted to that paycheck. Yeah. It's like nice. You're like, it's guaranteed.
It's not the money, it's the stability.
You know who the last person to get paid in his warehouse is? You. Me. And it's like, it's crazy. So I'm like, that makes sense. I'm like, and it's like, yeah, the business owner has the biggest risk, so they should get the biggest reward. But it's like, I got to pay rent. I got to pay the utilities. I got to pay the employees first. I got to pay inventory. I got to pay materials. All of that has to get paid for before I can even pull $1 out. Yeah. So it's like, fuck, like that, like, and people, and everybody glorifies being a business owner. I was like, I'm the last motherfucker to get paid. Yeah. Like, it's not fun. Like, it's
you're leading an entire business and a team too.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, like this shit is it's all cool, right? It's all cool on social media. Like, yeah, whatever, business owner, but shit's rough, especially right now. Like, yeah.
And that was my failure, is that I was an operator in the business, and once I removed myself, I realized there was no business because it was me the whole time. Yeah. And as much as I was like consulting and having other people do my stuff, like outsource everything, I miss being in it. Yeah. It's because I'm like, what the fuck do I do with my life? You essentially owned
a job, is what they say, right? Yeah. Like you don't, like, it's a business, but
I enjoyed it.
But you're like, you own a job, and that's what I was doing too at one point. It's like, if you can't remove yourself from the business, I think everybody says it. It's like it's not a business. And I'm like, yeah, it is. It's just you're fucking working in it. You're wearing
I mean,
all
if
the
you
hats.
enjoy it, there's no problem
wrong
being an
with it.
operator.
Yeah.
As long as you're
I'm an
happy.
operator. I like operating.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's like, why do people get into business, right? They want to make money. Why do you want to make money? To have free time. Why do you want to have free time? Because you want to hang out with people you fucking want to hang out with.
Want to have a lifestyle.
Family, love, whatever. So it's like, yeah, like I want to hang out with my kids, and the family. So it's like, yeah, being an operator is cool, but if it really just takes 24/7 to run your business, then it's not worth it.
Yeah.
At that point, you might as well get a fucking job. But I don't know. That's my opinion. Everybody has their own
6
opinion.
months, I might come work here, bro.
I might be bankrupt by then. So
We're gonna get matching
might not be a
bankruptcies,
job.
bud.
Yeah, but I mean, talking about bankruptcy, like I don't think that that's a bad thing. We live in a country where you can just hit reset. Yeah, your credit's fucked, but you can just rebuild it. It takes 5-6 years, but look at it in a long enough time horizon. It's like no other country in the world. Not that I know of.
I was like, why don't you leave the country and do business?
Can you fucking hit the reset button? No. You're stuck with that shit. Here, you can go into all the debt, fucking take all the risks. Worst case scenario, you file bankruptcy. And you start over. Starting over isn't that bad. If you already know how to run a business, you can file bankruptcy and just like keep some cash, in cash under the mattress so they can't take that away and then start over. But it's like, and that's scary for sure because it's so hard to get a loan. It's going to be hard to get. It's going to take you 5 to 7 years just to get back on your feet. But you can hit reset. Not a lot of people, especially if you have like a partner that you're like not married to, motherfucker. One of you file bankruptcy, and then you're good. It's like you gotta play chess, But I mean, I would if I wasn't married. I'd be like, yo, look, like this shit didn't work. I'm gonna file bankruptcy. We're gonna use your credit to survive and shit. Dope.
Yep.
But anyways, that's just my 2 cents.
We should probably throw a discllmer that this is not financial advice
This
or
is
business
financial
advice.
advice.
This is not financial.
Do what I say. But anyways, you don't actually not financial advice. I'm poor.
Fuck you.
But
That's
yeah,
so
I don't know.
That was like the realest conversation ever.
Yeah, I guess. How long have we been talking?
I don't know. I still want to get sued for
hour?
shit, dude.
Well, that's not bad. It's an hour. Minus like 5 minutes of me getting up and stuff.
And your zipper was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, you got anything else?
Did
Did I tell you my Instagram got deleted?
Oh yeah, I was there. I was like, hey, some Instagram user tried to tag me. What happened?
Well, that was me because I had to make a new one. I am Luis Baraza.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna ask you at the end, but yeah. No, I
Oh,
just want to
sorry.
thank you. Anyways, you cut that out.
Yeah.
Your editor's gonna watch this like, what the fuck is
yeah.
it? Yeah.
You got anything else?
I
Anything
forgot,
we didn't
dude.
touch on? I feel like what is it called? It like how do I explain it? Like we didn't never mind, I'm blacking.
Are you blacking out?
Yeah. Leave that in there. Anyways, so yeah, you got anything?
Podcasting is not for everyone.
No, I quit. Yeah.
3 episodes in, I quit.
Yeah. It's
No,
fun.
I'm excited to hear your podcast, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited too. I think it'll be cool. I think I got a lot to learn as far as being a host, but I think it'll be super cool to just, learn to be a host and start reaching out to people, have people on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1% better every day.
Yep.
That's all I can hope for
TV
free.
turned off again. Just turn it off.
There's so
And
much
outro.
Just kidding. Yeah, no, I just want to acknowledge you for being here today, and thanks for your time. Valuable resource.
Of course.
Might get matching bankruptcies later on. Who
No,
knows?
hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Just kidding. Let's not get there.
No.
Let's swim to that boat together,
Yeah, exactly.
So I hope you got some value, from today. I know we shoot the shit a lot, but at the same time, it's really enlightening to actually talk to another entrepreneur that is open and transparent about the failures and all of the hardship it takes to actually pursue entrepreneurship, because it is for everyone, but it's not for, I guess, what is that called? Like the weak stomachs or something?
Yeah, you gotta have a strong stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks for tuning in. Stay fit, stay frugal. I am Tawni Nguyen. You can find me on IG at Tawnisaurus. And you can find him on
Instagram at I am Luis Baraza.
Peace.